It's no secret that getting product manager interviews in 2025 is quite difficult. There's a lot of competition out there. Typically, hundreds of people are applying for the same role. Many of those people are existing product managers who have a lot of experience. Maybe they're overqualified for the role. So whether you're a PM trying to get your next role or you're someone in a related role trying to pivot into product, I wanted to share ways that you can stand out, ways that you can bump yourself to the top of the list to get your resume reviewed for a higher chance at actually landing an interview. By the way, my name is Anthony. I'm a senior PM based out of New York City. I'm also the founder of Product Career List, which is a platform that helps people land PM offers. So let's dive right into the first one here. And the first one is reaching out to venture capital associates or partners and basically asking them to introduce you to their portfolio companies. So this is an interesting one because venture capitalist firms are the firms that are investing in these startup companies, whether it's a seed stage, a series A, B, C, D, E, sometimes F stage startup, or a growth stage company. There are venture capitals firms who have invested money into those companies. So one of the jobs actually of a venture capital firm is to find talent for those companies. What do they do with the money? They primarily put it into either marketing or building out their team. Especially if you're early, the team is so important. And so the venture capital firms will actually have their own recruiting department and they'll try to scout out for the best candidates. So what you could do is you could introduce yourself to these firms, especially firms and partners and associates that have invested in companies that you're targeting or the industries that you're targeting, and say, hey, I'm Anthony. I have a lot of experience in this particular space. Would love to get on a quick 15-minute phone call to introduce myself and see if I might be a good fit for any of your portfolio companies. That might lead to then an introduction with one of their companies, one of the founding teams, and you might become a founding product manager at one of their startups. Founding teams also are less particular about having product experience in the past. They just want someone who is really smart, really eager to dive right in, has that right background for the industry, who can make a difference in their startup. So this is a really unique one that I recommend you try, especially if you find a venture capitalist who focuses on an industry that you have experience in. All right, moving along, the next one is finding product managers or product executives who are posting, or founders, I'll say, who are posting on X, so Twitter, or Instagram's Threads product. So people who are in the space might post about the industry, they might post about product, they might post about AI, they might post about anything. But they're putting themselves out there to post content about software development, technology in general. Product designers are also really big in this area as well. So what you could do is you could make a professional account, start to build up some followers there so you don't seem like some random person, build some credibility by posting yourself, and then reach out to these founders or these product people on X or on Threads, or product designers or engineers, and basically anyone in the tech space who works at a company that you're targeting. You could reach out to them and DM them and basically say, hey, I really liked your recent post here. It was really interesting because of XYZ reasons. I'm actually a product manager, or I'm an aspiring product manager. Would love to chat with you for 10 minutes if you have time, or if you can answer any questions over DMs, I would love to ask them to you. Something like that to just introduce yourself and get them to be aware of you. If you have a product portfolio, which I recommend you do have, I would drop that link in the DM. And this is going to really try to get you connected with these types of product people who are really eager to get themselves out there to connect in the digital world. The other thing I recommend here is complimenting them in some way. People love praise, especially if they're going out there and putting stuff on the internet. So if you can praise them in some way, compliment them about a post, their thought process about something, their career progression, basically anything, they're automatically going to be more likely to respond to you. So this could be an interesting way to just get yourself connected with the same people, just a different route instead of just LinkedIn DMs or emails. All right. Number 3 is a really fun idea. I actually have done this in the past, and I'll explain that later, but you could build a standalone web app or feature for your target industry using a no-code or AI tool. So one of the tools that you could use is Bubble. Another is called Cursor, which is an AI kind of co-pilot agent that helps you to develop different products. So what I recommend here is, say you work in the education space, you might see a platform like Codecademy, which teaches people how to code. And there may be a feature that's missing that you think would be really valuable. So you could go onto Bubble or Cursor and just make that feature. Then once it's fully functional, you should post about it on LinkedIn. You can send a link to it when you're networking with people. And this is just really going to blow people away because most product managers are not that technical. They're not technical enough to build their own products. So if you can show that you have a really strong technical skill set where you can actually build products that solve real problems, that are interesting, new, innovative, that work, that look good, that's going to really impress hiring managers and people generally who are in the product space, design, or engineering space, who would then refer you into their companies. So I totally recommend you trying to do this. It does take time, it does take work, but you'd be surprised how much you can actually build in a short amount of time with AI. Now with ChatGPT, with products like Bubble, with Cursor, and products like that, there's also tons of resources for you to learn how to do this in an easy manner. Early in my career, I actually built a couple of different iPhone apps that really helped me to get my foot in the door at companies, talk about those experiences in interviews, experiences building them, iterating on them, stuff like that. So I totally recommend this one. It's going to help you stand out because almost no product managers are doing this. And if you can do it, you're going to really look great. All right. Moving along, actually, before I move on, I did want to briefly show you one feature on Product Career List that relates to this idea. So let's say that you are working in the education technology space. So what you could do is you can go into Product Career List, click Portfolio, Explore and Brainstorm Case Study Ideas, put in education technology, and what it will then do is come up with 3 different ideas within this industry of education technology for you to, either improve a product, build a feature, stuff like that. So let's just look here. Enhancing learning experience with adaptive testing on Khan Academy. So the problem here is that high school students struggle with standardized tests due to a lack of adaptive testing and personalized feedback. So what you could do here is say, okay, let's actually build a feature that adapts based on how students are learning. Now, this particular feature might be really difficult, but you could then work with ChatGPT to say, what is an MVP version of this feature? So definitely check this out. It will at least spark some ideas for you for products to build. The other use case for it, the main use case, is to come up with actual case study ideas that you can put onto your portfolio. And I recommend going through these portfolio lessons on Product Career List just to understand what is a case study, how do you build it, what should you include in it, and then you could use the portfolio template that I provide here to actually publish it and start networking with it. All right, so to go back to the 7 different unique ways to stand out. Number 4 is networking through existing connections, first and second level connections. So people oftentimes overlook this because they might be nervous to reach out to their friends or their acquaintances or past coworkers, but this totally gets people interviews and offers. In fact, someone in my network who I worked at a previous company with reached out to me to connect me with their friend. We got connected. I referred them. They went through the interview process and now they've landed a role and started at my company. So this totally does work. What I recommend is go to companies that you're interested in and find second level connections. Second level means you share a mutual connection. You both know the same person. I would then reach out to that person, say, hey, Bill, I see that you're connected with Andrew. Andrew actually works at, Airbnb. I'm really excited about this product management opportunity at Airbnb. Would you be willing to connect us? And because Bill and Andrew are already connected, they're already friends or acquaintances or past coworkers or whatever, the chances that Andrew responds to Bill are so much higher than you just going directly to that person. So if you can find these people where you have mutual connections with, you're going to have a much higher chance of, getting that first introduction, which then can lead to a referral. All right. Moving on is putting a product teardown of a product in your target industry onto your product portfolio, your blog, Medium, Substack, any type of online portfolio type thing, and then share it on your LinkedIn, send it out to different people that you're trying to network with, hiring managers, product managers at companies. What a product teardown is basically going out there and finding a product and tearing it down in a sense from a particular angle. So let's say you're looking for usability issues or confusing user experiences. What you can say is, here's a confusing user experience on your product, and here is a way that you can improve it. This is very similar to a case study, but it can be trimmed down a bit and could be focused just going through the entire product from beginning to end. This could oftentimes be an onboarding flow or completing a particular task within a product. What I recommend you do after this video is go to growth.design, and you can look at some of their case studies and just walk through their free case studies where they tear down products. They talk a lot about user psychology, and they add a lot of visual graphics, and it's really, really interesting. And they also pair it with different things we know about human psychology. So check out growth.design. What you could do, again, is go to the case studies section to come up with these different ideas, or even just put in an industry to come up with the companies that might be relevant within that industry. And then you can go to those companies and products and then perform a teardown. When you're doing it, take screenshots and screen recordings of the entire process so that you can then reference it later on. All right, number 6 is experimenting with recording a Loom, introducing yourself to people at a company that you're targeting. This might result in a higher chance at them responding basically than just a text-based email or LinkedIn message. Now, I haven't personally done this, but I've heard other people doing it within the tech industry and it working really well for them. I also know that salespeople do this a lot, and that really works to increase their closing rate. So it's very likely to also work in the general recruiting space for a product manager role. So what I would recommend you do is record a short 1 to 2 minute Loom introducing yourself and really saying why you would be a great fit for their company. And then at the end, ask for a call with them or for them to answer a couple different questions you had. Just make it short and sweet. This is going to build trust. It's going to show that you're a real person, that you have skills, you have prior background, that you're really eager to get in at their company and make a difference. Definitely talk about them as well. Say that you hope you don't mind that you're reaching out to them in this way, that you found them on LinkedIn, that you were really impressed with XYZ on their profile. This is going to really increase the chances that they give you a chance and respond to you. When you're going out there and trying to find the people to actually network with, I recommend you go to the referral section and create a referral opportunity and then what Product Career List will do is actually find contacts, all the product people at that company. It'll pull their LinkedIn, so you can just quickly view their LinkedIn as well as their email address here. And then you can create a message as well. In that message, you can then include a link to your Loom recording. So I recommend you just check that out to make it much easier to find the email addresses and LinkedIn profiles of the contacts at these particular companies that you're targeting. All right, moving on to number 7. This idea is to send product feedback to the company's support email and mention that you're interested in talking about this feedback further with a product manager. So this could be a really unique way to get in the door with these companies by posing as a user and saying you have feedback about the product and how confusing it is, or an opportunity, something like that. Product managers are always looking to do user interviews, and if they can do one for free in a really easy way, that could be really beneficial for them. So this could be a really unique way to just get your foot in the door. Now, it's very possible that the customer support person doesn't transfer you to the product department or send a message, but especially if you're focusing on much smaller companies, the startups out there, the product manager might be the customer support person, especially if it's a seed stage startup. So especially small companies, this is going to work well. And what you'll then be able to do is then get that introduction going and get that conversation, which could ultimately result in a referral and then interviews. So these are 7 different ways that I recommend you go out there and try to get more product manager interviews. Again, I recommend going to productcareerlist.com to try out the platform for free. There's tons of courses and videos that dive really, really deep into more strategies to improve your resume, your LinkedIn, and create a portfolio, as well as improve your interviewing skills. So check that out. The link is in the description. If you want to see more product content, click the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. It helps my channel grow a ton. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.